But then they get upstairs, and he beats up a bunch of people upstairs in this club, just beats the shit out of them, including some white guy in the world's most ill-fitting tank top.
God, Jesus, that was so wrong. What was going on there?
With that clothing?
What is going on?
What was he wearing? I don't understand. It was a tank top that like was ripped. Hello and welcome back to the 159th episode of Good Bad or Bad Bad, the show we watch terrible movies and tell you if you should too. I'm your host, Mr. Brian Shilgo, joined once again, and as always, by Mr. Kyle Hinton. Kyle, before we get started, I gotta do something, because this is hilarious. This has never happened to me before. I got recognized in public.
What? What?
By a complete stranger for the first time ever.
Somebody neither one of us knew.
Neither one of us knew, because I have once been recognized, but it was somebody like you were friends with or whatever in high school or something. But complete stranger just walked up to me. I mainly want to mention it because I was so taken aback that I didn't get her name or anything. I was just like, oh my God, thank you. I was like, this is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. Nice. But I didn't even get her name. So if you were the person, you said you watch every episode. If you were the person who I ran into at Walmart while I was shopping on a Sunday, I think it was a Sunday morning, I would appreciate if you could either leave a comment or if you want to do it privately, just shoot us like a Facebook message or something. I would love to know your name. You were delightful.
I like to imagine her internal monologue is like Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. We see here the YouTuber in their natural habitat.
Well, it was so funny because her face, and I obviously didn't know this person. We're walking at each other from opposite ends of the aisle. Her face goes, and I was
Did
like,
you look behind you?
I was like, what? Yes, I was like, what is happening? And then she goes, I watch your show, and I'm like, what is? And my brain would not register what was going on, and I was like, my show? She's like, on YouTube, and I was like, oh, and I was like, this has never happened to me before. This is the first time.
I did have that happen once with my. Don't want to devolve what my actual job is, but one of our newly hired coworkers recognized me.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that's
boy.
funny. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, thanks. And she was with had her kids with her, and I was like, and her kids had no idea who I was. Well, one of them was very young, but the other one was probably like in her early teens or something, and she had no. It was very funny. Anyways, thank you.
He
for
doesn't
saying
play
hi.
Fortnite. Why should I care?
Thank you for saying hello, and I'm sorry that I didn't get your name. Again, please shoot me a message, and I would just like to know that. Anyways, all right, Kyle, let's get into it. We are going back to an all-star of GBorBB.
Oh yeah, this quite a few people.
Well, quite a few, but one in particular is a staple.
The Wolf.
The Wolf. Mr. Alexander Nevsky himself, starring in the 2016 film Showdown in Manila.
It was like when you were a cop.
Extra voice.
Yay. So I guess let's immediately break down. We've got Alexander Nevsky.
Yes.
We've got Casper Van Dien.
Yes.
We've got Matthias Hughes.
Yeah.
He has a small part. He also directs the film. Mark Dacascos?
Dacascos or whatever. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. Yes.
Sorry, man. Your name's confusing.
It's a little tough.
We have Cynthia Rothrock.
Cynthia Rothrock shows up. Tia Carrere is one of them. Well, she's most famously. Oh well, I think most famously wasn't she in Wayne's World? Wasn't she or is that not?
Oh
her?
yeah, you're right. She was the guitarist in Wayne's World.
Yeah, wasn't she?
Yeah. Love interest.
Yeah,
dude, man.
So yeah, Tia Carrere, and then the villain of this film is, and I don't know, I'm gonna butcher his name, but Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa,
who everyone knows from Mortal Kombat.
Yes,
your soul is mine.
Yes, that guy. It's amazing.
Your soul is mine.
Dressed like an absolute clown in this movie, which we'll get to.
I'm thinking they dressed him like that so they could have a double in for him for some of the stuff.
That very well could be, because man, we'll get to it, but that was hilarious. But yeah, you know what? I was like, I saw this cast list and I was like, sign me up for this Diet Expendables. Like, I'm here for it.
I don't want to immediately jump on this, but my God, they so underutilized him. Because he could be an intimidating villain, but they had him barely for like in the movie. Things.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It's probably because they didn't have a lot of time with him, so they were using body doubles for stuff, and he just.
This film does feel like a vacation write-off.
Very much felt like we were in Manila for a couple of like a month or whatever, and decided to shoot a mediocre action flick while we were there. But we open up on this film, and we'll get into what I thought this movie was going to be versus what it is, and I'll just get into it now, I guess. What I thought this movie was going to be, as I mentioned, it was like a Diet Expendables based on the cast and like the trailer. But that's not. It's like a buddy cop movie, mostly.
Yes, of Wolf and Casper Van Dien.
Of Alexander,
They're not that bad together.
No.
He slept with his commander's wife.
I used to have a problem.
He's a sex addict.
I go to meetings now.
They're fine. They actually have okay energy together. Casper Van Dien's was charismatic enough, even though he's bad he's in a lot of bad stuff. He's charismatic enough that he pulls off.
Like this is such a 180 from the Avengers Grimm. Such a 180 from Avengers Grimm.
Yes.
His charisma's flowing in this.
Yeah.
Not that.
No, yeah, absolutely. I would disagree. I think he was still a little it's a very different thing.
Different.
Yeah. It's a very
one of them
thing.
is one of them's the charismatic villain who's trying to take over
the world.
This is the almost like Chris Tucker-esque buddy cop.
Yeah, he's like the comic relief to the big muscle action guy. He's fun. He does a good job. I enjoyed him quite a bit. But we open up our story here. Wolf is on a stakeout, and some women are being trafficked, I think, or something. And he's kind of watching them. And then he's got to go in and save them, I guess. Or well, he says I guess we'll save them as well, but they're there to get something.
Yeah,
right.
They're after one dude in particular. I guess he's just like a head of the organization or like a higher up in the organization, but they're after him.
Yes.
They are part of the Violent Crimes Unit.
Yes, VCU, I believe.
I guess Manila's. Is it? How do you say it?
Manila?
Manila. I don't know.
Melina. It's Manila.
Manila.
I can't wait for you to mispronounce
I am
this
totally
word every single time you say it.
But so like their police force, he's a lieutenant in it or something?
Yeah, he's higher up.
Whatever. Anyways, he's leading this task force, and they're going in.
They're going in, and they get inside, and once they get into this room.
Oh my god,
this
is the dumbest. All right,
tactical
everything about
in the history of the world.
The only way this can be better is if he's like, all right, everybody, move in. Hang on, I need to hacksaw off one of my legs first.
Yes, and like literally, they move. I was cracking up. I was like, "You are the worst." Like
they are moving. They're moving into a room.
Yeah,
it's got boxes so they like can take cover from one direction. Yeah. It has multiple entry points and an overlook with a bunch
all
of
four sides. I have an overlook like walkway above them.
The second they walked in there, I'm like,
it's a shooting gallery. It's literally a shooting gallery, and that's what it becomes. It's hilarious. I was like, what are you doing? But they get in there, and then they try to get back on the horn with their guy in the car, and we cut back to him, and his throat slit. Oh no! And they have a jammer on their radio signal or something, and they're like, it's a trap. And then I love this guy pops up and goes, "What's up, little bitches?
What's up, little bitches? You looking for me?"
I don't know.
That's great.
But we get a big shootout, and it's one of the bad guys is the bad guy from one of the other like Black Rose or whatever. The guy who looks like Mickey Rourke, the long blonde hair guy.
Oh, Matthias Hughes.
Oh, is that his name? Okay, yeah, sure.
He
kind of looks like
the
Mickey
one on the
Rourke.
rooftop who shoots him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Matthias.
Okay, yeah, that guy.
Matthias, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I just always called him Mickey Rourke because he kind of looks like Mickey
also
Rourke.
from a Digital Man. He was the Digital Man.
Wait, was he?
Yeah, he was like the half robot dude with the big gun.
Oh, I don't even remember. I didn't remember that. Yeah, I remembered him as the villain from I think it was Black Rose or whatever. Like one of the other Wolf movies. He was like the villain.
It was Maximum
Impact. Was it that one? Yeah. Yeah.
He was like, which by the way, goddamn, I loved Mark Dacakis. I loved him in Maximum Impact. It's such a great character.
Yeah.
To have a failed action hero who's like, I'm still living big, but I gotta take up these kidnapping jobs to make ends meet.
Ich bin ein Cop. Shaolin.
Absolutely. But so a giant firefight breaks out, and it's just a bloodbath. But this happens so much in this movie, and it's one of the earmarks of a terrible action film. Is there's so many shots of people shooting with zero connection to anything else or zero consequences. They just shoot their guns at something and then they just keep shooting.
There's also no reaction to be like, oh, by the way, you're firing a gun. This is where you take, at the very least, if you don't have people who are experienced with firearms, take them to a range or something. Let them feel what it's like to fire a round. They are literally holding semi-automatic weapons sideways like this, being like, I'm getting them.
Yeah, and again, it's just nonstop. It's like a shootout forever where just nothing happens, and it's just so boring. It's like, what am I even watching this for? But eventually, they do get the guys show up on the walkways above them and just start slaughtering.
By the way,
them.
that does not get better throughout this film. It gets significantly worse, especially at the end.
Oh my god, the end is a nightmare. But yeah, they all get slaughtered for the most part. We get lots of terrible CG blood spatters, which to be fair, I say terrible. They don't look terrible, but they just, when you're like, man, if this was Squibs, it would just look so much better. Like, it's just, and they like doing like CG superimposed blood like splatters on the walls and stuff. And it doesn't look terrible. It's just
Brian's saying he could do better.
I'm not even saying I could do better, because again, it's not like in some of the movies where it's like moving around on the wall. Like they did a pretty good job motion tracking it and stuff, but still, it's just use Squibs. I know it's way cheaper. I get it. It's just and then our main two, or so Wolf, everybody is dead except for Wolf and his like second in command guy or whatever, and they like run out of the room and they're like on the run and they get to this stairwell and they turn around to this door. And like 30 dudes try to run through this door,
they just
and they
get
just
wrecked.
mow them all down. It's so stupid.
It's not even like they're outgunning them in that regard. One of them's got a rifle.
Yeah, the other one has a
handgun.
pistol. Yeah, and there's two of them, and they just murder like 20 of these guys as they like single file walk through a door at them. It's kind of amazing. And then, but they're able to escape a little bit more. But Wolf's out of bullets now, so he's got to use his hands. And we get into this smoky hallway, and I gotta this shot. He pulls out like a knife, like a kukri or something.
He's like whiffing at them, and they're just going. Ugh.
Yeah, he's just walking down this hallway, and people are walking up to him and letting them slice their necks, and then they die, and then he just keeps going.
He's got like a kukri. I guess I'm dead.
Well, here's my neck, sir. And it's just so stupid. He's just like easily slicing all these dudes down. And then they're getting away, and his partner's been shot a couple times, and he's like, I'm bleeding out.
They do the Predator, the Poncho, I think the character of the Predator, where Arnold Schwarzenegger's like dragging him through half of it.
Yeah.
And even more so, like the Predator, he just gets boom. Oh, all right.
Yeah. So they get up to the roof to make their escape, and this is where great place. And this is where Matthias shows up and shoots both of them. He shoots his partner, and then he shoots the wolf a couple times, but none of them check to see if they're dead.
No.
They just leave them there. They're like, nah, that's probably good enough. And they just leave, and Wolf survives. Congratulations.
Wakes up in a hospital and has zero reaction to the fact that he is A, alive, B, has been shot multiple times, or C, his entire squad is dead.
All of them are dead. And I love his higher up or whatever comes in and is yelling at like another higher up about Wolf. He's like, he fucking got everybody killed. And I'm like, and the movie's trying to portray that guy as like an asshole, but he's absolutely correct.
Yes, he's absolutely correct.
Wolf got all of them murdered.
He's through. He led them right into an ambush. His recklessness caused all this.
Also, that like quite right from Anchorman. Wow, that escalated quickly. That really got out of hand fast. They yelled, Matt. The yelling match is great.
Absolutely go from talking to screaming at each other in like a second. It's amazing.
Is that a threat? Are you threatening me?
Stand down, Lieutenant.
Are you threatening me?
Lieutenant, stand down.
But it's a great screaming match. But the dude is absolutely correct that Wolf fucked that up hardcore. And now I assumed what was going to happen is at the end we were going to find out that guy was corrupt. Like that's the classic. And no, he never shows up in the movie again. So Wolf is in trouble, and he gets released from the VCU or whatever violence control, whatever it was. And then we get our opening credits. I think we get a time jump. We
2
get
years
a 2 year
later.
later time jump. Yes. And Tia Carrere and Mark Dacascos are just strolling down the beach, enjoying Mai Tais, like hanging out, living their
They're
best
on
life.
the best vacation.
Yeah, being super horny for each other on the beach. It's great. And then Mark Dacascos is like, I'm gonna go get some drinks or whatever. And then this is where we're introduced to Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa as the villain. And in this scene, his hat,
It's like tipped over. He's got a bandana, on as well, and like
sunglasses.
some sunglasses. It looks ridiculous.
so ridiculous. I could not get over it. Every time he's on
they lock
camera.
eyes. Then he locks eyes with Matthias.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, everybody in the wait staff says, "All right, let's start trying to kill Mark."
Yeah, he just beats up everybody. He just fights everybody. I was like, what is even happening?
Mm-hmm.
We will find out later that he was like an FBI agent or something, and I guess they put a hit on. I don't know if that ever gets resolved why they killed him. Maybe he busted one of them at some point.
The point is, he is the catalyst for like the.
Yes, the
way the
revenge
story
plot.
goes,
So,
yeah.
like, Tia Carrere is like, wow, he's not back yet. And then she might even hear some gunfire or something and goes to find him. And there's some great slow-mo shots of her running down the alley to get to him. Because he gets murdered by not Wolf. Matthias, whatever that guy's name is.
He gets murdered by the...
Tagawa.
They capture him, bring him up to the car.
Yeah.
He steps out of it and
he stabs him.
goes, "Your soul is mine."
Yeah. Stabs him. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct. I'm sorry. So he stabs him and kills him. Tia Carrere runs up, very sad, great slow-mo, great crying. Oh my God, I can't believe my husband's dead. And I was like, well, this makes sense because he's got to direct the movie. So we got to kill him off early, I guess, so he doesn't have to act and direct. And then I love this. She goes to the police station with the cops or whatever to like go report this crime, and she
What are the fucking odds of this,
dude? And my favorite thing is they don't explain it right away. She's sitting there and she hands the cop a drawing of Tagawa that's perfect. And I was like, holy shit!
The guy's like, "Wow, this is very impressive."
And in my head, I went, man, is she like a sketch artist?
Yeah, you said just the line immediately. "I'm a police sketch artist." Okay,
I was
let's
like,
get.
fuck you. Come on.
What are the odds?
It's amazing.
Impressive work.
I'm a police sketch artist. Do you recognize him?
Oh, incredible. No notes. Great job. Great script. I love it. She's a police sketch artist. Incredible. Oh, God. But they decide they need to take her to like a safe house or something so she can. I don't even know exactly what it is, but they introduced her to this other woman cop.
Also, let's ignore the fact that this was clearly at some sort of resort hotel or whatever.
Yeah.
Cameras.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Who knows? Whatever. But they got to take her to like a safe house. So she's with this other woman driving in the cop car, and they get ambushed. They're like they're getting chased, and then they another car pulls up in front of them, and Tia Carrere can fight apparently, like along with her police sketch artist training. She's also got a little bit of combat training because she beats up a couple people before they are eventually kidnapped by these bad guys. And taken away. Is she taken away in that moment? No. They maybe they're able to fight him off. Maybe that's what it is.
Well, the woman she's with disarms one of them and just starts firing, shooting.
Yeah, and they like leave. I guess. Yeah. That's right. She's able to fight him off. Okay. Then we're introduced to our two main characters. We get the like funny joke opening scene with them where they're like working with a client who had I guess they're both like PIs.
Yeah, and mostly they focus on like
domestic
disputes
and stuff like that.
Cheating spouses, insurance, what have you.
Which is what our current client is there for. He had them looking at his wife because he thought she was cheating on him, and they get video evidence, but then the video keeps playing and it turns out she was cheating on him.
Casper Van Dien.
And he's great. Like shuffling in front of the TV to be like, never mind, don't look at that. It's pretty good.
He claims the claim is he's a sex addict, but he's got to admire his work. So while he moves Wolf in the way to block, he's like,
yeah,
damn, I'm good.
Yeah, and then then at the end, the guy leaves. He's like, "Oh, thank you, all right," and he leaves. And then he turns to Wolf. He's like, "You want to watch that again?" I was like, "You fucking weirdos! That's weird. I don't like that at
Wolf
all."
didn't have a problem with it. He's like, hell yeah.
Want to see it again?
Classic bro stuff. Just watching your buddy fuck some dude's wife. Great, amazing. But we also then find out that Charlie used to be LAPD. Charlie is Casper Van Dien's character. He used to be LAPD, but he's not anymore because he slept with
with his superior's wife,
or whatever.
He slept with his commander's wife.
I used to have a problem.
And then they're now introduced to Tia Carrere by the woman cop who was with her, and they're like, maybe they can help you find the men who killed your husband, basically, is the setup. And then we find out they're doing some research, and we find out that Tagawa, and I don't remember, well, I do remember his name, is the Wraith. They call him the
another
Wraith.
movie where it's the Wraith.
The Wraith. Because he's so silent and deadly, and he just kills people and vanishes into the ether or whatever.
The cold-blooded human and drug trafficker that no one ever sees, and if they do, they end up dead, which is why they call him the Wraith in the first place. That's who we're going after?
And so Tia Carrere is going to pay them $50,000 to look for him, and then another $50,000 if they find him and bring him to her, so she can exact revenge.
By the way, pretty low offer.
Yeah, it seems low for like hunting a man that is like one of the most dangerous
Notorious
criminals
killers.
in the world. Yeah, I feel like that's maybe a little bit more than money than that, but sure. But they're like, they weren't going to do it, but then Casper Van Dien decides he's in because there's something that happened. Like, it's just the money. It's right. She's like,
well, he's going like, I don't know, this is kind of dangerous. $50,000 to locate him. Excuse me, yes?
Yeah, no, I'm down. I'm in. Now let's do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Fraud, cheating partners, and some dating scam cases.
I'll give you $50,000 if you find him.
We can look for him.
So then it becomes just a buddy cop movie. We get a riveting 10-minute montage of them walking around town with a picture being like, "Have you seen this man?" or whatever. It's
and then
boring.
they keep doing that, and then they try to find his go-to informant,
who is like a 13-year-old girl that they're just friends with, which is very weird.
Yes. But like they make a point of being like, "Oh, by the way, that was the first place you went, is where she was," or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, so the past 8 minutes has just been meaningless.
Yeah. All
right, cool.
Cool. Right on. Great. Amazing.
That's the first place we checked.
Told you. You should have done this my way.
But the little girl, the 13-year-old or whatever, tells them that she's at the club. That they should talk to Kiki, who is the girl from the opening scene, who was like the informant. Because I think she's also an informant, but like a different. Because there's like the little girl who's an informant, but Kiki is the one who was helping him on the sex trafficking bust at the beginning. She was like in the car with them or whatever. And so they're finding her because they think she'll be able to give them information about where Tagawa is, I think, or the Wraith is, I think.
Yeah, she's like connected with like, I guess the
criminal
element. Criminal underworld.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. But so they go to a bar, and I don't know why they need to do this, but they go to the bar/club, and Wolf just beats the shit out of the bartender for like 10 minutes to get information out of him. But Kyle, don't you worry. He's got a heart of gold, because after he beats this random bartender to a pulp, he gives him a handkerchief and is like, "Here you go, man."
Thank you.
Clean yourself
Well,
up.
they're even trying to like make it a little good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
And Casper Van Dien's like, I don't want any part of this.
No,
Like,
I'm just gonna stand out here.
I'm
and
gonna
let
break
the
your
giant
nose
Russian
more.
guy beat the shit out of you. Yeah.
I don't speak Wookiee, Chewbacca.
Talk.
I don't know.
But then they get upstairs, and he beats up a bunch of people upstairs in this club, just beats the shit out of them, including some white guy in the world's most ill-fitting tank top.
God, Jesus, that was so wrong. What was going on there?
With that clothing?
What is going on?
What was he wearing? I don't understand. It was a tank top that like was ripped and didn't.
It's like when Rambo made that poncho in the first Rambo film. And it's like, that's like a sack that somebody cut some holes in.
To me, it looks like, like any movie, like any of the bad post-apocalyptic movies we watch where the director wants the women in something like, falling apart, barely containing their boobs.
Put that on this.
They put it on this guy. It's like, well, fair enough.
All right.
Beats the shit out of all of those guys. And then they're able to...
I do like this interrogation of him. It's pretty good.
They confront some guy. I don't even remember exactly.
He's like just like a lower drug lord.
Yeah, and they sit down on the couch next to him, and Wolf just crushes his kneecap to get the information out of him. He just keeps grabbing his kneecap and just like crushing it, and the guy tells him where they need to go. So they get Kiki's location. And then we cut to Kiki, and she meets. This I thought was very weird. She meets Sophia, who is Wolf's wife or whatever, girlfriend.
Yeah.
And they have this very weird exchange where she explains how, like, Sophia explains to Kiki how her and Wolf met. Like, the movie just has to justify why this American woman is married to a Russian living in Manila.
Yes.
And that's all this scene is. That's all this scene is. It's like, and I'm like, and Kiki's like,
they also
okay.
We met in New York. I was a cop and she was a journalist.
I still am.
So this isn't the first time she's introduced. First time she's introduced is in like the hospital.
Yeah.
But they keep like we need to make plans. You're never good at making plans. They're like that's supposed to be some sort of thing that he's just not looking towards the future or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense because of how fucking dumb he is with tactics.
It's true. He is not a planner. He is not a planner. He's a run into a room and punch everybody until they give you what you want.
Yes. She keeps making a statement of like, we're gonna go to the theater this weekend, and I hope you.
Oh yeah, you gotta be there for the theater.
I just stopped by to remind you of our date on Friday. Theater.
Doesn't matter at all.
No, they never go to.
Which, by the way, would have been a great way to end it.
Would have been a great ending, right? Would have been. We don't even see her for like the last half an hour of the movie.
Like Casper and Ian could even be like, "Hey, it's a hell of a ride. Let's say we hit the clubs. I'd like to, but
I got to go to the theater.
Got to go to the theater.
Yeah,
it'd be a nice callback."
Yeah.
He walks off, and Casper
come
and Ian's like,
on.
"Hey."
Hey, not at all what we get. Not at all.
No.
But then so they finally get to Kiki and they're talking to her to get information, and then they end up just like hiring her.
Yes, so she doesn't have a place to live because her landlord was being scummy with her, and they're just like, all right, well, I guess here's some money in the meantime. You can crash here if you want. Maybe answer some calls and earn your keep or whatever. By the way, we have a secretary desk if you want to do some secretary.
You are now a secretary. Spoilers. We have just basically tricked you into working for us. Surprise.
Nailed it.
We have a secretary's desk.
There's a secretary desk.
Looks like you got my whole day planned out for me.
So then she tells them they need to go to Club Hello Fox. It's like a go-go club where somebody there, they can get information.
Yeah, and if you, God, and this is one of the things where exterior versus interior.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a thing in like
Manila.
In Manila, where you have like
in where, Kyle?
Manila, Manila.
It's the word vanilla, but just make it in them. There you go.
Yeah. I'm totally gonna ruin this. But like the outside, it looks like a noodle shop on the outside.
It does. It really does not look like a club.
Yeah.
But who knows?
You go into it and it's like
a gigantic nightclub.
Yes.
Yeah. But we get a classic moment where they walk in and Casper Van Dien's like, the owner lady, hey, and then she just slaps the shit out of him. It's that classic thing. And then immediately tries to fuck Wolf right after she slaps him and is like, you though, we should do it.
You want Bam Bam?
Hey, it's my colleague, Peyton. Miss Davina, Peyton.
Meanwhile, Mickey Rourke is upstairs. Matthias is upstairs getting stripped upon. And so I guess that's who they were looking for, is this guy.
Yes.
Because they get there, and then Wolf is able to, gets up to the room and they're about to fight, but then Mickey Rourke just runs away. And I was like, oh, disappointing. We get a chase scene.
Which, for as much as disappointing is, Matthias can run.
Yes.
Wolf cannot, which is why we cut around it.
Yes, absolutely. And then we get this weird side thing introduced.
There's a reason she's in there.
Okay, well, I noticed one thing, and we'll get to that. Maybe that's what you're talking about. But I had to assume this was like Alexander Nevsky's daughter or something, because this random woman, girl, who's like a teenager,
Russian exchange student.
Yes, just pops up and is like, hey, you guys need help getting through the market? I know a shortcut or whatever. And I'm like, who is this? What is going on? And then I looked her up, and she's been in literally only the 3 Alexander Nevsky movies that I think we've done. She was in Maximum Impact and I think maybe Black Rose. Or
I'm thinking
one other
she's
one.
related to Nevsky in some way.
Some way. But she's like appears to be like a Russian pop star or is trying to be.
She performed the ending song to this, and I'm not sure if you saw the other ending credits for the songs.
No.
So the girl who plays Kiki is also a
singer, like a pop star or whatever.
And so she did like the first one that's in the listing, and then this Russian pop star, she did the last one, and then there's 3 in between, all done by Vanessa Dacascos.
His wife did the... amazing. But yeah, I saw that. I was like, when the final credits started playing, I was like, oh, I bet this is that pop star from earlier. And I looked and I was like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Amazing. But yeah, she's in this movie for like 3 minutes, just to show up and be like, oh, I can help you. Oh, and then she also makes fun of Casper Van Dien for being a little beta bitch, not bulking up. She's like, you need to lift, bro. I'm out of here. Bye. And he's like, what?
Okay.
You might want to bulk up a bit. Get a little more mass. I should get a pic of this.
Oh, no.
Yeah, says he needs to up his gains. It's very funny. So then
the fight's so disappointing. So like Casper Van Dien just gets his ass kicked for like, I don't know, 30 seconds maybe.
Yeah.
And then Matthias is about ready to just like drop him.
Yeah.
And Wolf comes up and he's like, hey, no. And then punches him once and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It's very boring. Very disappointing. But they're able to, I guess, get the location out of him of like the base of operations for the Wraith, like in the jungle. And now they're going to go raid it.
And they just kidnap him. And like they throw him into a trunk, which is not... Always find that the quickest way to kill somebody is just throw them into a trunk, especially in a island that's close to the equator.
It would not, you would die of heat stroke very quickly, I feel like. But so they're able to get the information out of him. So now he needs a team because he's got to break it. He's got to get to the Wraith's jungle encampment where I think he's like making drugs or something. I don't know exactly what he's doing. But he's got to put together a team. So he says he's got to call his friends.
Nick.
Lieutenant, I think I found the Wraith. I need some help.
And then they get to the jungle on the side of this river, and they're sitting there, and then this little boat comes driving up.
This is where we are introduced to Cynthia Rothrock.
Yes.
Don Wilson, who I had heard of. I hadn't really seen much of his stuff.
I'd heard. I think he might have been in something else we've done, but his face was very familiar.
Olivier, like, Grunt.
The other 2 guys I did not recognize.
There's a Russian dude who just... clearly somebody Wolf knew, but then the one guy, Olivier, like another, he actually seems like he has military experience.
You think?
Like he actually looks like he has where the way he goes into that dude with that knife is full control mode. And I'm like, this guy may have killed somebody at some point in his life.
It wouldn't surprise me if Wolf knew some people who killed people. It would not surprise me at all. But they show up and they have a nice moment where they're like, we heard about what happened.
We all know you got set up by the brass holes in PR, Nick.
Everybody knew it was bullshit.
Absolutely.
You got set up, totally set up
by the brass holes. That's what they call it.
It's like, yes, it clearly wasn't him leading his team into just a shooting gallery.
Yeah. The dialogue when they first exchange or when they first show up is so great, though, because then at the end they're like, let's kick some ass. Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Enough of this. Let's kick some ass.
And then we kill a bunch of time just with jungle montage of them just like walking through the jungles with guns, doing nothing.
Especially where you have like Don Wilson and Cynthia Rothrock were like in their 60s trying to do some of this stuff, and like it's not the worst, but it's like kind of
it's not great. It's clearly it's again it's Diet Expendables moment now.
Yes,
where
this is
it is just
Diet
like
Expendables.
aging action stars, but like the D-list aging action stars. Doing some mediocre stunts. I will say that Cynthia Rothrock has like the stunts at least where people are in camera with her.
Yes,
many other.
She's like gets out these collapsible batons. And
Go knock the camera.
and just starts beating the shit out
Starts
of
wailing
dudes.
on people.
Yes.
And like I said, it's not exciting. I love right before the whole fight breaks out. There's this moment where they're like spying on the camp, and it cracked me up because I think it's Casper Van Dien or somebody is using binoculars.
You know what, Charlie? Screw the money.
Do that? And they'll know exactly where we're at. We can still get them.
And he's like, I think he says, there's the Wraith. And then Cynthia Rothrock goes, can we get eyes on him? And
yes,
that's what I was doing.
Yes, these are eyes on him.
That's what is happening. It's so weird. It's like they edited it out of order or something like that.
Can we get eyes on him?
But Wolf gets really upset because he recognizes, I did not understand this. So Wolf sees him in the binoculars and he like gets really mad. He's like, holy shit. And he says his name. He says it's Aldrich Cole.
It's Aldrich Cole. That son of a bitch.
Is the name of Wraith. And so somehow the Wolf knew who he was, but didn't recognize the picture of him that she had.
This is where we needed somebody who had information on a name who was high up in this organization at some point earlier in the movie, and then they finally get a name with a face.
Yeah.
And they're like,
oh my God,
guy.
it's that guy. But they didn't do the base work for that. We just get to the moment where he's like, that's Aldrich Cole. I'm going to go down there and fucking
and then
kill him.
Wolf immediately wants to shoot him.
And I'm like, and so my thought is he must have been the guy somehow involved with setting him up.
Which
in the beginning
would have been nice.
But I don't explain that. It felt like that was what the movie must have been trying to go for, but I swear they do not explain that at all.
Also could have worked if maybe that was the name of an informant or something like that.
Yeah, so many things they could have done, but who knows? But anyways, they're able to calm Wolf down and be like, look, we'll do it as a team. And they're like, but we won't be able to call for backup, so it's just the 5 of us or whatever.
And the way this entire sequence is stitched together, you can tell who was available for what days, and it's very painfully done.
Yes, it is. That my note is just contextless shots of the bad guys and the good guys walking through the woods, shooting into the wood, like into the jungle. And it's just nothing. It's just nothing interesting. Like there's like, again, the only shots that are remotely interesting is when Cynthia Rothrock does a thing, which happens a couple times.
It honestly feels like the stuff with Don Wilson and the stuff with Cynthia Rothrock were clearly done, I would say done first and probably done on the same day.
Yeah.
Because those are really the only times we get them with another actor.
Yeah, and like some choreography or something, or like something at least interesting. The rest of the time, it's just reverse shot of random people shooting guns random directions, and it's so fucking boring. I hate it so much. They blow up some cars. They Don Wilson goes and plants C4 or something.
And the special effects of their car explosion it's so good.
It's amazing.
It's like you can almost see the masking layer of the explosion.
Yes, it's incredible. Then we have another great moment where Cynthia Rothrock runs in slow-mo or something, or no, it's not slow-mo, but she has a great thing where she like fights, or the thing you talk about where she fights, but she also shoots a bunch of people. Anyway, she's doing some stuff. But then we cut to a shot of Wolf who just walks into the open.
Yes,
right.
And this is the stuff where clearly this was shot way after the fact.
Yes.
Where they're just trying to cut this in.
Yeah.
Where Alexander was like,
I need to look like badass.
A, I need to look like badass, and B, all right, you got me in between my 2 drinking days, so let's go ahead and knock this out.
Yeah, he just wanders into a clearing, shooting his
from
gun.
the hip, like not even down the sights,
and just murders 1 million people, and nobody can shoot. He's bulletproof apparently. Like nobody, he's just standing in the open shooting like tons of people. Nobody ever. And again, it's a classic thing, but it's so comical in this. We also then, when some more explosions go off, I think they might shoot a grenade or something. We get like sweet GoPro shot. They had like GoPros mounted to stuff. It's like super low quality. But I also want to talk about the sniper guy, I think he's the other Russian guy maybe. He's using like an AR-15 or whatever.
He's
or
using,
some sort of AR platform.
A lower caliber rifle in regard, like he's not using like a 308 or
it's not like what you would standardly see as like a sniper rifle.
But like he's firing and ratcheting each shot. It's like
we saw a close-up of the gun earlier where it said semi-auto and he had it set to say, like, why are you it's not how that works. I don't know shit about guns and I know that's not how that works. What are you doing? Oh, it's so hilarious. Cynthia Rothrock beats the shit out of people with some sticks because, you know, she's got to do that. And then this shootout just kind of fizzles out. Like, it just kind of ends.
Everybody runs out of bullets at one point, and they just get into hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, and then they finally confront the villain. The hot villain girl gets shot and killed.
She gets shot in the boob.
Yeah, and she dies. It's like, oh no, hot villain girl, you were in two scenes. Oh no.
Okay.
And then they just walk up to the Wraith, who's just sitting in his tent.
Yes,
like,
thinking he's going to get arrested.
Yeah.
It's like, I know powerful people in low places. Yeah, we're not arresting you. Oh.
We're not here to arrest you. As I said, you're coming with us.
Oh, yeah. And they just take him, and he just like, oh, okay. It's such a weird anticlimactic finale. It's very strange. But so they just grab him, and then the rest of the team is going to leave. Cynthia Rothrock hits on Casper Van Dien because she gives him like her phone number or whatever. Yeah. Classic stuff.
They do say if you ever need a cleanup, if you ever need some cleaners, give us a call.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, that seems all right.
Let us know if you need a cleaner.
I will.
Well, anyways, we get into the next scene where we get
we go back to the like police station.
Yes,
or whatever.
we get the Wraith and Matthias, and they're like tied to chairs
in the police station.
And
they bring Tia Carrere in.
Yes, and she's like, you know, my husband taught me many things.
Yeah,
taught me all about guns, how to shoot them.
Especially how to use a gun. And she just pulls out a gun and unloads in them.
And murders both of them. And I was like, bro, Wolf and Casper Van Dien, you guys are very bad at your jobs. You just let that woman walk in here with a gun. They're like, oh shit. Well, we need some cleaners. And they're like, let's get the fuck out of here. It's so weird.
Say, Lieutenant, we need cleaners.
Done.
I mean, I get it. I get what they're going for. But she's like, are you guys going to arrest me? And they're like, no.
Am I under arrest?
No.
Bye. And she just leaves. It's amazing. Then we cut, and this is again where the ending should be him going to the theater or something, but it's not. It's Wolf and Casper Van Dien sitting on a pier
smoking cigars. They have like one interesting shot where it looks like it was lifted straight out of Bad Boys.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I love they're sitting there chatting and they're smoking these cigars, and he goes, "We should go to Cuba." And then Wolf's like, we should.
We should go to Cuba.
We should.
And then the movie ends. And I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this ending? They're just smoking cigars on a pier. It's so boring. And then the credits roll, and I was like, I bet that, and it is. You look at the credits, it's her.
Yep.
It is her. The song is called Another Life, and the singer is Polina Butarina.
What a name.
There you go. No, hell of a name. Is it good, bad, or bad? I don't know, Kyle. What do you think?
It's like middling good, bad. It is entertaining.
Yeah.
The people that they have, like Casper Van Dien is very charismatic in this.
Yes. It's short. Lots of stuff. I will say I did actually find the action scenes the most boring parts of the movie.
It's just a bunch of chaos.
It's just nothing. Yeah.
The buildup is the more entertaining part.
Yeah. All of the other stuff was way more interesting and way more entertaining. The actual action scenes was just like bored.
Completely underutilizing your villains.
Yeah, just underutilizing everybody. Like literally everybody. Cynthia Rothrock gets the most to do, and even then they didn't use her as much as they could have. It's just kind of boring. But
I'm amazed that Don Wilson's still able to get a good kick in.
Yeah. Kicks the shit out of a guy.
Like, dude, you're like 65 in this.
Out here fucking people up, man. He's pretty badass. I guess I'll say good bad. Yeah, I would agree. I think that's
it's a very middling though.
Middling good bad for sure.
Wolf pulling out another one.
Yeah, I feel like that's generally. Has he all been good bad?
I think they've all been good bad.
Good for you, Wolf. Congratulations. Go enjoy a fucking vodka and vodka milk or whatever the fuck you were drinking it. What is he drinking in that one? He drinks it's like condensed milk.
Yeah, it's just milk in a can, and then he crushes the can.
Yeah.
It's not like an aluminum can. It's a tin
No, it's like
can.
a tin can. Yeah, go enjoy a condensed milk on
Treasure
us, buddy.
Raiders.
There
That
you
was
go.
that one.
Treasure Raiders. Holy shit, that was a good one. That's going to do it for this episode. As always, you can do us a giant favor by heading over to patreon.com/GBorBB. Support us for a couple bucks a month. Get early access to episodes and some other bonus content, all that kind of good stuff. And most importantly, you support us, which we really appreciate. You can also do us a favor by heading over to tpublic.com.
What is T-Magnet? I got to know what T-Magnet is.
Well, so T-Mag, I actually could tell you what T-Magnet is. It used to be it was a t-shirt website from back when the daily t-shirt websites were really popular, where there was like a million websites that had like a daily t-shirt design that was like some sort of pop, like something like this or whatever. And T-Magnet, from my memory, was one that consolidated all of them into one website, so you could see all of the different t-shirts
it was
in one
the
place.
cable of tea stores.
Yes, basically. I think that's what it was. Anyways, I haven't been to that way. I don't even know if it still exists.
Anyways, T-Public.
I'm very sidetracked. You got me off. You can buy our merch. We don't have any right now, but you know what it looks like. I have a podcast called This Films, where we talk about movies that are based on books. When this episode's out, our most recent episode will have been the finale of the 50 Shades saga. Not this one. This is the second one, 50 Shades Darker. But 50 Shades Freed. Freed. Yeah, will be with the most recent episode, I believe. Or it might be it will. Well, it actually might be a room with a view.
So
but whatever. It's coming. It's in.
How was the 50 Shades saga been?
Well, I have not read or watched the third one yet, but the first two, it's actually fascinating because the books are the worst things ever, and the movies, in comparison, are masterpieces. If you want to hear, Katie and I talked like multiple hours about each of them, and it is wild going from reading the worst books I've ever read, probably, to watching movies that I don't think are good. But boy, in comparison, they are incredible. So, it's been interesting. So go check out This Film Is Lit. You can also check us out on Twitch.tv.
Which I need to do a little bit more of.
Yeah, I've been meaning to stream, and I will at some point. It's just I'm planning a wedding. I'm getting married in 2 months, so it's very busy.
Congratulations, Brian.
Things are a little hectic in my life right now. Got a lot going on, so I'll try to do some stuff.
Also got to put that 3080 in its place. I finally was able to dig some out of the hands of the crypto crew.
Oh, you got it. That's right. You got to grab it.
I had to like start knocking people out online. I was
it all crashed and they were all for sale. Right. Yeah. It went great. It was good. Twitch.tv on the screen. You can do that. I believe that's everything until. Well, actually, let's say it because I don't know for sure. It might be out about the time because this is going to come out like the first week of September, roughly, or end of August. Wrath of the Viper Sniper is supposed to be out at some point in the next month or so.
You get a chance to
I believe September is the roughly when I've heard.
Brian and Kyle on what would you consider the digital screen? I guess.
Oh, not the silver screen?
Yeah, it wouldn't be the silver.
The crystal screen?
There we go. The LCD screen.
Yeah, crystal screen. I don't know. Yeah, but check out Wrath of the Viper Sniper. There's trailers. You can just search it. We have a cameo that is very fun. Hopefully it didn't get cut. I don't think it could.
No,
I don't think we could get cut.
Yeah.
But it should be a lot of fun. And it should be out within a month or so if you're watching this when it comes out. But you can head over and find them on Facebook for all the latest information on that. And I believe it should be up on Amazon Prime eventually once it does come out.
Yes.
That's it. Until next time, keep watching movies. And, you can check it out. It's free on Tubi.
Showdown in
or Amazon
Manila.
Prime. I think it was on Amazon Prime.
Yes, this one was on Amazon.
It's probably also on Tubi, honestly. If I had, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, it's from 2016, so I can imagine it's all over the place.
It's all over the place. And it's not, you could do
anything on the internet spreads like a virus.
True.